Welcome to Literati Circle. Today, I'd like to talk about poetic ubiquity. Poetics in the context of rhyme and melody with the content of language and maybe possibly symbolisms. And ubiquity would be the condition of everywhere. A universal condition of language exists with harmonious intonations that possibly can be perceived through the landscapes that we pass thereon, the mass appeals of literal beauty and mythicism. Most, if not all, visual props that are present in our environment are senses that we inherit and lose a freedom of its fate, although it's well grounded. The beauties and props around us, like the bounding street lights and concrete and business signs and noise, the noisy motorbikes, whether in life or in the artificialities of these creations of human resilience. These props impose a collective formality that casually creates the hyper impatient, the pedestal of engineering and laboring the exaltation of characters gone wrong, gone bent, and so forth. And through this ubiquity, we have to find the poetic resonance rather than the collective formality of cause and effect, creating the hyper patient, the hyper pedestrian. Rather, we'd like to impose harmonious and melodic props that we can figuratively and through our artificiality be able to relate to its context and its gravitas. It's absolute within or without its vague ironies, that is, conditionals that quantify things that generally lack backbone, the validities of weakness that are understood by us, and its habitats and intending actions and various moving styles that may appear temporarily brisk and occasionally attractive in respect of our own absent ways of understanding conditions of aesthetic proximity. We become unaware of the transformation to transcend, and we just become a trace reference of its value, of its reflection. The modes and styles are set with no purpose, be it known or otherwise unknown, simply contending to have been in the know while not revealing in its personas, but tearing them down literally and figuratively and fictitiously in its absurdities that quite laughingly convert some into believers. Elvis is alive, for example. Some of the archetypal idioms, for example, war is hell. The archetypal symbols of, for example, the wanderer or the seeker or the inquisitor. These are all ubiquitously sprinkled all throughout our social territories. And so I believe you can strengthen mood, the specificity and depth of aestheticism in proximal structures of sense with regards to the tactile nature of the poem. For example, if you say covered mass and replace it with dewy moss or fog shrouded, perhaps implying the coming of spring, which will help support the waking from the drizzling tears of clouds, and so forth. Nature's details open the portal to our moods because they are our own emotional makeups in that sense. Detail is the key in capturing essence. Lingered abstractions always remain one-dimensional, so as to speak. Try to capture a mood, not by the content of the discussion, but by the detail of the action of the contextual structure of the conversation, the prop, such as how to grab and permeate through a rippling sense of understanding and detail of sensation and tactility. Well, that will be the lesson for today. And thanks for participating and listening to Literati Circle.